Hello and a very, very warm welcome from the London College of Communication, one of the colleges of University of the Arts London. My name is Pratap Rughani. I'm a Professor of Documentary Practices and the Head of Research here at LCC. So thank you so much for spending a few minutes getting to know our colleges in a bit more depth. And at this stage of the process, we're really keen to give you a stronger insight into the culture of each college. So I'm going to talk you through a few slides that summarize some of that information and then give you a glimpse in a short video of some of our current students' work. LCC, our current student cohort is of 68 PhD students, a large group just enrolled with a fantastic range of research questions in our key disciplines in screen, in media and in design. And we have a particular focus on practice-based work. That's so people are making films and photographs and many other range of creative outputs that go with it. And to do that, they work from our fantastic range of facilities here. I mean, I won't go through all the detail of it, but there's just a quick summary of some of the facilities that you will have access to, both here and then more broadly across the university. One of the great strengths of the university is our archives and special collections. And here at LCC, we have the Kubrick archive and a number of different collections that cover the range of subject specialisms summarized here. When you come to the college, you'll be arriving in our postgraduate research environment, which is a very, very rich culture that then meets in various combinations around key subject disciplines and particular focuses of interest. And there's a summary here, and it goes from our comic research hubs through our screen specialism, our research centres in photography and sound arts, and then this whole range of smaller hubs and networks. I won't go through them all individually, but you can find on our website fuller descriptions of those things. So to our research centres, one of our big bodies of doctoral student alumni and also of current students are in this area of creative research into sound arts practice, which is a very big research area and has helped develop the discipline, a relatively new discipline. And we have one of the world leading centres for this. And you'll see there a number of the names of our senior research staff and other colleagues who would then become or likely to become, if not a director of studies, one of the lead supervisors in a research question related to that discipline. Similarly, for our research centre in photography and the archive, or PARC, we have current exhibitions on in the college at the moment with some of the COVID restrictions, and we'd have to check in more detail about visiting at any one time, but we have a full programme there led by Brigitte Lardinois and a number of other research colleagues. And one of the big projects which we've been running is called the Decolonising Lens with Dr. Mark Seeley. That's a seminar series looking at the theme of decolonisation, also leaning into Dr. Seeley's own research and his work with Black archives photography. You will see there a number of different examples of areas where key researchers are leading the discussion. So if your research question touches any of those, do think about contacting researchers and involving them in helping refine your research question. Very important to us at LCC and across the UAL is the vibrancy of our student research culture, so our MPhil and PhD students. And here are a number of different things which those students are involved with at the moment. We've had a particularly strong response at the moment to the creative writing offer for people from a range of disciplines are finding this method and methodology a good way of unpacking their ideas further. And you have access to a whole range of these activities. I'd like also to give you a bit of a glimpse into the culture of the college. And so here's a 3-minute video from last year and our doctoral student show. A selection of our doctoral students' work. We're particularly known for what we call practice-based research. In fact, we're one of the leaders in that for the last 20-25 years. And one of the things that we're really keen to do is to shine a light on that fantastic work so that we can all benefit from the insights that our students are making.
So the work I'm exhibiting in this wonderful show, Unfolding Narratives, is called Spectrum Notes. The research question really is about, can avant-garde film strategies really help to tell difficult stories?
I'm a first-year part-time student and my research is around narrative drawing and storyboards.
I've just finished a PhD. My area of research was looking at scientific visual communication, specifically conceptual figures. So it's a very niche area, but I used to be a scientist, so it's an area that I know well from the science side. I really want to see what graphic design could bring to this area to improve it and help scientists create these figures.
This research contributes to challenge the stereotype of vulva's historical symbolic representation in graphic images and awaken the consciousness of female self-acceptance through directly visualizing female genitalia characters.
I always try and show work as much as I can because it's always a really good chance to kind of work some of the ideas through in an actual environment rather than just a studio. All the students have worked together as a team to make it happen, which has been really nice.
So the performance is a one-to-one performance piece where I act sort of like a strange therapist, asking a lot of questions about inner sounds, what they mean to people, do they hear sounds in their minds. It's very hard to document that without ruining the actual performance. Kind of plays a little bit on the fact that it can be quite uncomfortable to be asked all of those things, and it's just a little bit too intimate at times, and that's what we try to capture. Like, it's just a little bit too close with someone you maybe never met before.
Was an opportunity for people who are not academically familiar with my work to give me first-hand experience of what they saw. So it felt a very unpressured critique coming from friends, which is really helpful.
I teach here, so students from the course that I'm currently running were in here. It's quite nice to be reminded of how engaged our community is.
The good thing about being in an exhibition like this is just the breadth of research that's on show, and meeting the other students and seeing what they're presenting. PhD research can be very isolating at times, you know, you're in your own little bubble. So it's good to come out of there and see just what's going on with the other PhD students. It's always very inspiring to see other students' work.
So thank you very much for your interest in LCC and the university more broadly. One closing thought from me is when I look across the nearly 70 PhDs in progress at all levels, from our new students arriving last week through to students about to take their vivas, one thing that really strikes me about the culture of the LCC is that in the disciplines that we are known for, alongside that, we're attracting a lot of people who want to ask really testing questions about the disciplines they're involved in and the social and cultural impact of that. So we see a lot of things that imagine a finer way of creating a culture which has for too long been marked by exclusion. So it's in that sense quite a political environment, and there's a real edge and a sense of people wanting to make positive change. Thanks for your interest.